You have to listen to me again, but I brought a compadre with me this time. Steve Burton's going to help present some of this today. But let's first start off with any announcements. So Ipso, we got a party this weekend, I think, right?
Yeah. So this weekend it's party at Peter's house. We're watching Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver.
So yeah, Peter's gonna have popcorn, but if you want to bring something, feel free to bring it. So.
Anything non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
Not that you would be anything alcoholic since I
The caffeine is appropriate.
at my house, sure, I guess. I won't tell you people in my house I won't drink.
And you know a Mormon, they spike the punch of so all right, let's go ahead and any other announcements then? Let's go ahead. Could someone give us an opening prayer, because we didn't ask anyone. Steve and Julie, especially Julie Cloward, who have helped work a lot on putting this together. Now Merkley up in the dean's office has helped quite a bit with putting this together, and Andy and Dave Wiley. We've had a lot of people that have been helping with this, and Peter. But so you heard from the Pixelture guy last week, and he kind of gave you from the business side of it what they're trying to do. We wanted to show you an application of it that you can use here in the K School of Education. And this is something that if you're teaching a class, you can come check out. You can use it. And also, as students, several of us teachers are planning to be using this technology in our classes. So we want to get you, today's kind of, think of it not so much as a presentation, but more as a workshop. We want to introduce to you what this is going to look like when we wheel this into a class. And get you on the software and all that kind of thing, so that basically we can just, and we're going to test it out with all of us getting on at the same time, and just test how this works so that when we started using it in classes, it's not going to cause any hiccups or anything like that. Maybe I'll just kind of give the basic of how this would work, and then maybe Steve can show how it would set up. But this is the setup right here. This is Charlotte. We call it Charlotte because it branches out like a spider, Charlotte's web. So that's the mnemonic there. So it's Charlotte. That was Julie's ingenious idea. So we call it Charlotte. You can go check it out from the second floor tech room where you get the laptop carts and things like that. You can reserve it with them for class periods and then check it out. And it's all included on this cart, so they'll just bring the cart in. And when they bring the cart in, you just start pulling out the projectors, and they've got these long cords. You can put the projectors wherever you want in the room, and turn on the computer. And then it also has its own wireless system here, which I'm kind of excited just for that, just to have our own little wireless system. And maybe I should turn it over to you, I guess, to explain how that starts to work, how students are going to start to get connected to it. Start running it.
So I see lots of laptops today. You're all welcome to, but not required to, install the software and connect. Why don't we get that going? So that might take just a moment or two. Yeah. Go to pixelture.com. That's pixelture.com. Yeah. And you'll see this. You'll see this as you scroll down. There's download free WP Basic, and WP is not word perfect. It stands for wireless pixels, I've learned. So hit the download, and I think it will give you a few choices. 1.2 and 1.1. We're on 1.2, so go that route or you won't connect properly.
Yeah.
As we've also found. So you select that. You need to agree to the terms and conditions, and I'll let you do that. And download. Okay. And go ahead and go through the installation process. I suppose we can, and it is cross-platform between Windows and Mac. I don't know for sure if it'll work on this built-in computer, but we have a laptop here too.
Which, let me say something about the laptops. For those of you that teach undergraduate classes, we've got this software installed on all the laptops on the laptop carts. So if you wanted to use this with your undergraduate classes, like IP&T 286, I think it'd be a fabulous thing to show to the students in that class for maybe final presentations, things like that. You can wheel it in, pull the laptop carts off, and the software's already there. So.
there's a warning. I won't continue on this machine though because it doesn't have any wireless. Let me switch over to this other one.
And while Steve's switching over, once again about laptops, we actually have 2 of the laptops here. Does anyone not have their own laptop, but they want to play around with the software with us today? We want to just borrow one of the checkout laptops, just to play around with it. Hopefully most of you brought your own laptops so you can download it, but we do have a couple of the rent laptops up here.
Anyone have any questions with the installation or come along fine? Got the application?
I'll say one other thing about teacher installation. So as you come in, because we need to codify this into a step-by-step process for the teacher. So you bring in the projectors, you set those up. The other thing you need to do is make sure you plug in the Wi-Fi router. So you need to go plug in the Wi-Fi router. And the router is Charlotte, that's the wireless network. And the password is going to be teach-learn. So that's how
We
students
need
would
to get on the Charlotte right now.
You're going to need to get on the Charlotte eventually, so you might as well do it right now. And the reason for that is we'll be able to get more people connected to wireless pixels by using the Charlotte network.
So go ahead and change your Wi-Fi from BYU Secure or whatever you're on to one named Charlotte. That's the one on the card here. The reason we're doing that is it takes a lot of bandwidth for the screens to go to the unit over there connected to the projectors. And if you connect directly to that wireless router named Charlotte, it's directly connected to that computer and you don't have to go to the campus network and back in. And we found that helps us with the performance improvement. Again, the password is teach learn. That's one word, lowercase. And as soon as you're connected to Charlotte, then go ahead and run the WP Basic application.
And while we don't have the instructor stuff codified yet, we probably should, but there's not much to it once you get the hang of it. You just pull out the projectors, you plug in the Ethernet, that kind of thing. But for the students, we do have a step-by-step sheet up there for any of your students if they're trying to connect to the software. It tells them how to do so. So that sheet is just right up there on top of the computer there to show you how to do that. Click on external laptop.
Is that the one I picked? Podium,
Yeah.
external computer.
You pick the external right here.
Oh, thank you. I'm still getting up to date on the new controls here.
There you go.
Oh, except they're not mirrored.
So while he's getting that set up, so after you've downloaded the software, and he'll show you what this looks like here in a minute, but you're going to need to, it's going to give you the option when you're connecting, you need to put in the, what's it called, the WP display address. So that's basically the address to be able to connect to here, and it's 10.10.10.36. So 3 10s separated by dots, .36.
Is that always going to be the same or is it going to be reassigned each time?
It's different each time. At least that's been our experience on the times that we've tried it.
If we left this permanently up, it would be,
But when you bring up the Charlotte here, this computer automatically goes up, runs the application, displays its IP address on the screen. So that makes that part easier. You probably can't see that back there, but
So if it says it's unable to launch the application,
unable to launch the application.
Did you
How many
download-
people got unable to launch application? 3? How about everybody else? 4? Able to? Able to?
yeah.
Oh, how many able tos?
did everyone download
Okay.
1.2 or did some people download 1.1?
If it won't launch, I saw that once, you might want to quit and try again.
You just take it off for different reasons.
With,
Because it
with
would work.
what? Will you just click share window?
Oh, I guess you can't quit it, can you? Try it again. Try launching it again. Did it work the second time? No, you might want to try restarting. That might clear it out. I'm not sure on that one. We haven't used this enough to be able to do that troubleshooting, so.
So this is
I can
good for
check
us to
with you
know.
afterwards to see if we can get through that. But I did see that once on here and it worked the second time. Did you have Charlotte selected as your Wi-Fi source before you launched it?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So let's continue with who we have.
He's working on an Apple machine here, so that's the problem.
I'm sharing.
On what? Okay, go ahead and connect in. Now when you connect in, I'll go ahead and click, see there's a connect tab and there's a share tab. Do we need to hit the lights down or are we okay?
I think
Are we okay on that? Lights down?
You want them down?
Yeah, let's get some down. It's washing it out. Is that better?
Oh.
Okay, this tab here says share. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not connected yet. I need to connect first.
Kind of
Okay.
fun to see some of you starting to
Now I
talk
see
to
a
yourselves.
representation of these 4 screens. This one is the one on the cart, so it's not all that useful. And then there are 3 widescreen, high definition ones that are these 3 projectors around the room. And you can see people have already thrown up some of their screens. We probably ought to show how to do that, so I'm going to open up another window here. Or no. I'm going to open a calendar here. Let's say we wanted to have a calendar up somewhere for a group or whatever. And if you notice at the very top of all your windows, you have a new button. And that's put there by the WP Basic software. If I click on that, I can choose Share Window. And then my window gets tossed up into this combined display here. Now, when you run out of room, they start going into the shelf, so they can be rotated in and out. And I see that's where mine went, right here. Now I can take, for example, that CNN one, I can take that and I can resize it. Oh, that's you, Aaron. So let's say I want to shrink it up to just use a quarter of the screen. See how it shrunk up like that? And then I'll put my calendar so I'll drag that over onto the screen. And you see there's my calendar. The reason it's got that bar is because this window here doesn't display. And so it blanks it out. But I wouldn't usually do the controlling from the same machine I'm sharing from, because you do have that issue, but I can bring the other window to the front and see it fixes it like that.
That's way cool.
All right? So go ahead and feel free to toss them up. Now you might say, well, this is a little out of control. No one's paying attention to the instructor, and part of the idea is you don't necessarily want everybody facing their attention up here. You might want groups working together or whatever. That's why partly why we have them on different sides of the room. But if I let me bring that back up. Okay, one thing I can do down here is if I click on moderate, looks like we have a moderator already. Sorry.
We can
And
see
so-
who the alpha dogs in the IP&T department are.
Now,
They
if
need
you
to have
walk-
control,
If you
that's
walk to
all
the
right.
main machine, which is running WP Display, which is the other half, it's the server side of the software.
I love who pulled up Jimmer for that. That's awesome.
Okay, if I go to the, well, look at all those. Okay, you notice there's a clear moderator. I can click that button and kill the moderator, which is one way you can attempt to take control, and then I can click start moderating, except.
There's always going to be a few smart Alex.
Okay, P.E. Turich. Peter Rich. Oh, Peter. Peter, do you want to bring your laptop up here and connect so we can see? Or do you want to give up moderating for a minute?
I'll give up moderating.
Okay.
I'll behave myself.
Control freak.
I just disconnected, so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Who will moderator disconnects?
If the moderator disconnects, the clear moderator button isn't available anymore. Maybe that's a bug.
Well, that's.
Well, I've just.
Oh,
sent
it
you
came back.
moderating.
It came back.
It's not a bug, it's a design
It's back.
feature.
I just didn't wait long enough. Okay.
It's a feature.
So you're moderating.
So we have been open, which means anyone can do whatever they want. There's also exclusive. And I'm trying to remember what exclusive does. He explained it in his presentation, didn't he?
I can't remember.
I think that means everybody's kind of has no control whatsoever. Oh, looks like there's a help file there. Maybe I should click the little question mark. There we go. Okay, exclusive. You have exclusive control and only you can share. Restricted, you can share freely, but anything shared by others is put on the shelf, only you can position windows. So if I did restricted here, that means that all your screens, when you share them, will pop up here, and then I can choose which ones I want to actually display to the whole room. Individual, everyone can share, but can only move their own window on the display. So you can't, have window wars. You can only move yours around, but you can't drag someone else's out of there. And then of course open, which is maybe a little dangerous with a whole room full of IP&T students. But that's the basic technology. Know that if you're trying to get to the internet while you're doing this, your connection is going through Charlotte's Wi-Fi, and that's why it's so critical to connect this wire in, because otherwise you won't get to the internet while you're connected to Charlotte. This connects the whole room into the internet through this coding. And that's basically what I had. Do you want to talk about it?
That's basically it, and we're hoping that the main thing that we were trying to focus on as designers, trying to design how this would work, is the technology was available, but how to make it portable and yet easy setup, so that you could, like we had someone in this class just right before we started. You saw it took us a little bit longer today because this was our first time. But hopefully in those 5 to 10 minutes that you have before a class starts, you should be able to get this up and going, especially if everyone's already got the software installed. All you got to do is just wheel in the laptop cart, plug things in, fire it up, and get people the IP address, and you should be ready to go. And so we're hoping to make this a quick way that teachers can get moving with it.
Don't they have projectors now that can just, where you don't need the actual cables to go to the computer, where you can just send all of the information wirelessly to the projector?
They weren't sure.
I know they.
So speed is the issue there.
Speed is part of the issue, and we were wanting short throw projectors. So not big ones like this, but ones that could just sit on a desk and just throw them up 5 feet away is what we were looking for. And maybe the short throws have that wireless capability, I'm not sure. And we were also looking at price. So we were trying to keep price contained with short throw technology and, that kind of thing. So
You want to keep in mind that because it's using wireless technology to get the pixels up on the screen, you won't have great results if you're doing video, because refresh rate won't be high enough, so you'd have pretty choppy video. They are working on the technology, like they mentioned last week, where if you want to share a video, it will upload in the background and then tell you when it's ready to go, and then you can start it. But that's not in this version of their software.
So I just wanted to kind of throw out a couple questions for you. Those of you who are teachers, either because you're graduate teachers or you're faculty teachers, what are some ways that we could possibly use this kind of technology in our teaching? How could we adapt our teaching or improve our teaching or change the way we teach based on this possibility? What are some things that we could be doing?
I sometimes have people do group projects during class time, and they often gone off into different rooms or whatever, just to
Right.
sort of talk to each other. And I think this would facilitate them being able to work with each other and have a nice screen, and then I could also see what everybody's doing and be able to contribute to their discussions when it seems like they're doing something that I might be able to help them with.
So I see one possible way is for like final presentations, or not necessarily final, but when groups are presenting projects. I know in IPT 286, I like to have the students share their work with each other, and we don't have time for everyone to share with everyone, so I put them in groups. And in the past, what I've had them do is just take their laptops and just flip their laptops around and show people on their laptops what they're doing. But then everyone has to crowd around the laptops. But with something like this, you could have 3 different groups going on and have people cluster around and share their, their projects with each other. So you could do something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the main caveats I see of how I would like to use it is if we're connected to Charlotte, we're not connected to the internet, as it were. Right, can we connect to the
No, you
internet
are.
completely?
You are, as long as you connect this wire up, you are.
Gotcha. So
One thing that we did mention, there's entire desktop, there's window from the button at the top, there's also a selection of, a small section of the screen. So if I click on that, I can drag, say, a rectangle out here and share that. So that's one way you can drill in on something and focus on it, make it very large.
One of the things we've been trying to work on too, and this is, you can see that we've tried several phases of this, is thinking about you guys and us as designers. And the way designers design is different from maybe the way other professionals do their work. It's very collaborative. You share, you get critique, you get feedback. You need to have tools and abilities available to you. And we're trying to make spaces, for example, this space, more of what you might think of as a studio. So like artists would go and do design work in an art studio. There's a lot of people, a lot of other programs across the country that are similar to our programs that are trying to create, and some have done so very successfully, instructional design studios for their students. And that's part of what we're trying to do here too. By this ability now, you could have groups of students sharing their projects and getting feedback from each other. You could be displaying, you could be, here, let me show you this code, can you help me fix it? And doing it a little bit more than everyone hunched around a laptop. You could be having groups collaboratively working on different design projects throughout the room. And make the whole room, just like if I was an artist and I painted something, and I go and stick my painting up on the wall for everyone to look at. We work with digital technology, so it's not as easy to do that, but this is one way we can take our work and say, let me throw my work up there and let you throw mud at it and tell me what sticks and what doesn't, and what works and what doesn't. So it's a little bit better way of doing that, kind of in a studio sense. Any other thoughts about maybe what we can do with this as far as teaching goes, or possibilities, or maybe questions or concerns? Yeah?
Side-by-side comparisons are made a lot easier.
Yes. Right here, stick up maybe 2 examples. Can you critique both of these? I can see that for a lot of things. Here's an ideal, here's what is a less ideal. Can we see the difference in these 2 things? That would be very good.
Can we stretch them out? He had
Yeah.
mentioned we could stretch out across screens. Can we see what?
You could, well, we could, but yeah, because we've seen that like the animation students do this, where they'll have 3 screens together, and one project will span across all 3 screens. So it's actually just one huge wide screen is what it is. I'm not sure, is that easy to do? Or do we have to set that up at the beginning?
No, you just take the image and drag it out.
Over the 2 screens,
Mhm.
basically?
Just pull the corner over like that.
That's not the best one since it's not 5.
Did it do it?
Not yet.
Still thinking about it. But yeah, that is a possibility. That is something that I've seen them do. Try and crash it one back.
Oh, did it crash? How many people have had crashing or unexpectedly quitting problems? Okay, 3.
Unexpected
I
what
haven't
problem?
been able to share mine again.
It's not letting us move screens around though.
Well, that's probably because you're moderating it now, right?
I think I set it to open.
Move a screen somewhere that's not actually
That is open.
Yeah. Let me just clear the moderating then. There is a screen that's shared on this one, by the way. I haven't seen anything on this projector lately. Oh, there. Well.
I just did that just now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, it is. Hey, we're in business.
We're in business. IP&T students are playing around again.
What was stuff here for?
Anyway, are there any other questions or concerns? So we've had a few people crash. We're not sure how often that's going to happen. And we didn't know how many students can be on at one time. This is a pretty large group, larger than a lot of our classes will be. So we've only got a few people crashing. That's not too bad.
We probably have half a dozen people all moderating at the same time, which might slow things down too.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Did you have anything else, Steve? Is there anything else we need to know? I think that's about all we've got as far as this goes. Andy's going to take the remainder of the time just to talk about some department goals. But are there any other questions about this, about the process, how you would do this as a teacher or as a student? Yeah?
What about sound?
You can't share sound because there'd be too much sound going on. You could have the sound running out of the laptop, obviously, but that'd be it.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Sound would probably be controlled by whoever is over the room, because these systems connect with this wire here.
So, yeah.
Well, like if there's like if I want to show a movie from my screen, for example.
But we want to hear the sound for everyone.
Yeah, through these speakers, you know.
So that's still going to be a limitation.
Most rooms don't have those speakers. I think that's part of the difference. You could get a really long sound cord.
That would be what you'd have to do. It's just get a sound cord if you want. So, plug in some speakers. One thing you could do, Jake, for that kind of thing, just kind of as a hack kind of way to get around that, is you can check out the speakers from that second floor tech area too. So you just check out a thing of speakers, and whoever's showing their movie, plug in some speakers and plug them in real quick. So, which that's also why we've got like electricity now. We've kind of, as you notice, put the electricity on the throughout the room to try to enable more of that kind of stuff. Yeah, Al.
Two housekeeping things as we go through this. One, the cords are a hazard. Please
Yeah.
pay attention.
Yeah.
Now and notice anybody falls, your own problem. Okay. Second,
Charlotte is not liable.
Charlotte is not liable. Now, the second issue is, as you do this teaching, and it would be interesting to know what difference it would make to whatever it is you do, whether these things were portable or fixed. Because there's conversation about putting them in the ceiling around rooms and see what difference if any. And that's why the short throw is purchased, so that would be facilitated so you could wander around and do all that stuff. But remember, in the wandering now, watch out for the cords.
Yeah, so right now we've got it on the cart so it's portable, but yeah, would it make a difference as you as a teacher? Would you always be using them in the same way in the same place if we just mounted them to the ceiling? Or,
how many would you mount?
you know,
How many screens would you want to see?
yeah, how many screens would you need? 2, 3, 4? I mean, for the kind of teaching that you think is going to be most effective, how many of these projectors would you need? And, you know, that kind of thing. That would be really good feedback as we start to explore that, so we know this is kind of a test phase of this, and if it works really well, maybe, you know, maybe we can use it more. If people are using it and finding really success from it, so yeah.
For the duplexes, obviously we get 4 for each screen, so that would necessitate 2 machines, right?
What was that?
We can split the screen into 4, right?
Yeah.
So that would necessitate fewer projectors if we did that. Because we have multiple screens at the same time, or if that not part of it. The real question I wanted to ask you, are those that crashed and those who didn't hook up, how many were Macs and how many were PCs?
Okay, so those who crashed, how many crashed on a Mac? 3, 4, 5. How many crashed on a PC?
How many have a PC that are
Couldn't
connected?
connect on a Mac.
How many couldn't connect on a Mac at all?
This one's a Mac, so.
Yeah, we're connected on a Mac right now, but it sounds like the Mac's a little buggier, which is going to be a problem since we. You couldn't connect. How many can't connect on a PC or didn't connect on a PC? So we had a couple people. We should probably send all this kind of info back to the Pixel Church, let them know that.
have these kind of problems, so.
All right, well, I think that's all I've got, so Andy, the time, whatever you got left is for you.
We have just enough time for this quick exercise. First of all, though, I want to thank Rick for spearheading this for our department. And for Al Merkley for being the shaft of the spear. Al gave us the shaft. And Steve for helping with the technical. I'm sorry, Al. Al Merkley, you guys understand, is the assistant dean. And he is in charge of technical matters. And is the one who actually helped us to find the resources to do this, encouraged us in doing this, and he's the one who actually has turned this room so far into a studio, and we really appreciate what he's done for the department. So we You didn't do it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay. But Steve also for helping us solve all the technical problems with this. For the next just 5 or 10 minutes. Now this will be so funny because some of you won't be able to do this. I want each person to take out a piece of paper. Some of you have computers and don't have any paper with you. This is like a technology moment. But I need everybody to have a piece of paper. You can do it on a half sheet or you can do it on a full sheet if you want to. Okay, but I need everybody to have a sheet of paper. To turn in, something you can lose. Who's got paper to spare? This is okay, has everybody got one? Okay. Do not put your name on it. Disguise your handwriting. So that you can speak frankly. Here's what I want you to do. If you were emperor for a day, you could change 5 things about IP&T. Anything in the department. Thank you, Al. Yeah, there's a couple of guys here. It can be anything about classes, about the way it's administered, about the support services, about the lab, about the classes. I said classes, okay, so I'm told. Anything about IP&T, I want you to put down at least 5 things that you would change if you were the emperor. And if you want to do more than 5, that's fine. Once again, don't put your name on this. You're going to write down 5 things that you could change about IP&T. Things that we don't have that we need,